Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Life Playbook. This is season 3, episode 1, kickoff of the new season. As always, I am the co host, Noah. And as he is, man, the guy that he is, your host, Quinn Jackson. Today we will be diving in to the details or our opinions on the trade or pickup of Cooper Kupp. And you guys will hear my opinion on the Ohio State versus Michigan game. With that being said, Quinn, you got anything to say?
No, not really. You heard the man himself. I'm your co-host, Quinn Jackson. We kicking off the season right. So, you heard the man. We're gonna be talking about the Cooper Cup trade as well as some college football talk. Cause it's been a long, hot minute since we talked about college football. So let's get into today's episode. Before we get started, make sure to download Prize Picks. Have a chance to show off your sports intelligence. With that being said, let's get into today's episode. Also, real quickly, Cleveland Cavaliers. I seen what happened, Cavs, bro. We lost to the Magic, bro. 108 to 103. 16-game winning streak is out the window. But hey, we still made history. But tis a shame. Tis a shame. But let's move along to the actual content of today's episode. Starting with the Cooper Kupp trade. Cooper Kupp has been traded to the Seahawks. It's only a matter of time before that man got picked up. He's still a reliable dude. He still has years left. Obviously, we know he put up a historic all-time wide receiver season in 2021, arguably the best, greatest wide receiver season. Probably not going to be able to replicate it, given what his career's looked like so far. But he's still that dude, and I still think he's got a lot to offer to the Seahawks. So let's talk about it. Noah, what do you think about that? Think Cooper Kupp can still have an impact?
So honestly, I feel that the Rams they didn't really need to release Cooper Kupp because they did pick up Devontae Adams, who is at the end of his prime. Cooper Kupp may be at the end of his, but he does still have years. But that is a guy who stayed with you through the bad years, got to the Super Bowl with y'all. But once he has like a down year, I feel they kind of gave up on Cooper Kupp. So yeah, he's going to the Seahawks. He's going to be paired up with Jackson Smith, getting the ball thrown to him from Sam Darnold. So we just got to see how that season goes for the Seahawks, bro. I don't really see a lot with this trade. Cooper Kupp, you know, he did good things in the Super Bowl. He had that catch. He was frying. I shouldn't really just hint that one catch. He was frying Eli Apple the whole game, man. And that game, I was rooting for the Bengals that game, but yeah, he was frying Eli Apple, and he did suffer injuries, but that was no reason for them to give up on Cooper Kupp. They could have re-signed him, they could have let him retire as a LA Ram, but instead they trade him away. So that's really my opinion on the whole trade with the Cooper Kupp situation.
Yeah, I think they could have kept Cooper Cup, but I'm thinking given the rise of Puka Nakua and they brought in Devontae Adams, I'm thinking they thought this wasn't going to work out somehow, so they decided to get rid of one, and they chose Cooper Cup. Plus, he was one of those guys that had a big toll on the cap space, so that's probably another reason why. I personally was rooting for the Rams that Super Bowl, and they did not disappoint. It's crazy because every Super Bowl, the team that I chose besides 18 the 18 Super Bowl, I think with the Patriots and the Eagles, that Super Bowl, and then another one. Those are the only two Super Bowls I was wrong about. But every other time, I've been right about the Super Bowl winners. You know, I was personally rooting for the Rams that Super Bowl, and Aaron Donald did his thing. Again, like you said, he did great things in that Super Bowl. He can still provide quite a bit. I don't know why people count out Cooper Cup. I mean, I understand he's kind of had a fall off since 2021. He hasn't looked the same, but injuries happen, and I think the Seahawks is a fresh look for this man. Again, I don't think he'll be able to replicate the 2021 season anymore, but he doesn't have to. But he's still that dude. I wouldn't count him out just yet, and I think I think he's a great pickup for somebody like Sam Darnold, because if they didn't make this move, Sam Darnold may have been in huge trouble because there's like next to no help over there in Seattle. I know they have JSN and they have Kenneth Walker, but that's about the extent of what Sam Darnold would be working with. So great pickup for the Seahawks. I think Cooper Kupp still has quite a bit left to offer. Having said that, it's time to talk about the game, the dreaded game. Y'all already know my opinion on that game. I made a video about it a long time ago before the show actually kicked off. I encourage you guys to check out my opinion on that. But it's time to know what your opinion on the game. I know this is kind of a very late reaction because the season is over. That loss. We are Ohio State fans. Naturally, that loss still stings to this day. So, what is your opinion on that, as well as maybe looking forward? Because this year the game is going to be played at Michigan in Ann Arbor, and the Ohio State team, is going to be looking very different, as well as the Michigan team. But we might not be as star-studded this year as we were in 2024. So, what do you think about that?
So, as we know, the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, it tells back to, I believe, the early 2000s, Ohio State came out strong, man. Urban Meyer, praise him, bro. He did his thing, stomped Michigan, because Michigan's just trash. And then, after Urban Meyer, he retires, we pick up Ryan Day. Big things. Expecting big things out of Ryan Day. He comes in, loses his first rivalry game against Michigan, But, okay, it's his first time as a head coach of a big rivalry, Biggest game in college football. And, so next year comes, we lose again. And lose again. And then we lose again. So, how I feel, Ryan Day, I believe I believe that Michigan is his kryptonite, He won the Natty this year, but he lost to I think it was 7-5 Michigan team. It wasn't the best Michigan team we ever seen, so I don't know
Michigan
how we
was
lost that game.
Michigan
Say
was 6-5 going into that game.
But okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad. And I believe that Michigan is his kryptonite. But going into this year, I do feel Ohio State does not have that much talent as they did. We lost a lot of big guys, but I think this might be the no. I will never. I was going to say Michigan might take this game, but no. So it's going to be a close matchup. Michigan has big names coming in. Ohio State has big names coming in. This is going to be a tough game that's going to be played. What else? Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, man. So if I'm wrong, bro, I think it's going to be my last time watching college football if they lose to Michigan another year. Because I'm tired of seeing all this blue and yellow everywhere I look on Instagram or TikTok. I'm tired of seeing it, bro. Like, Ryan Day, you got to step up, figure out what's making you lose these games. Because, you have the talent to beat this team, but you can't put it through.
Yeah, that can't happen, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Ryan Day, he gets like this when he plays Michigan. Again, I kind of already gave my opinion. My video was out, but piggybacking off what Anoa said, we did have all the talent in the world to win that game. This year, obviously, we're not going to be as star-studded. We lost a lot of guys to the draft. We're going to be losing a lot of guys to the draft, but I think we'll still have a solid squad. We'll still have 10, 11 win plus season, most likely still make the playoffs. I don't think, but I do think we'll still have a good season nonetheless. And I think, Ryan Day, despite losing to, Michigan every year, he's still one of the best coaches out there. I may have been a little harsh on Ryan Day because, that rivalry is huge in Ohio State, but Ryan Day he is one of the best coaches out there, and he showed it. Won the national championship, well deserved, and it was a great send off for all the seniors that came back for their fourth year or fifth year to play. So it was great, and he showed he can get the job done. But there's two sides to the coin, and he hasn't been able to get the other side of the coin. So, I mean, obviously this is going to be a tougher atmosphere because it's in Ann Arbor. Michigan's got the biggest stadium in the Big Ten Conference. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's a tougher atmosphere. The boys are going to be out for blood. Hopefully, Bryce Underwood, the number one ranked quarterback in the country, doesn't play, because if he does, we might be You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. But I'm just gonna say our chances might be limited if they come right out the gate with him. I don't think they will because he is only a freshman coming into college, so they'll want to give him some time. But the dude is talented. Now, I know we've got a quarterback situation of our own. We've got the second best quarterback in the country in Tavian St. Clair. I think he can be great. We personally are probably not going to jump right out the gun with him. We're probably going to stick with Julian Sayin, who's also a great option, but it's going to be a much different circumstances, much different audience, much different atmosphere. And I can't, like you said, we had the talent this year to get it done, and we didn't. This year, this season is going to be much different. Our team's going to be significantly less than the 24 squad. But man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but he is nonetheless a great coach. He did get us to where we wanted to be. He did win us a chip. So my disgust towards Ryan Day has kind of lifted a little bit since he won the chip, but he still has to get the other side of the coin. When you take the job at Ohio State, there are two sides of the coin that you got to accomplish. Ryan Day has accomplished one half, but he's never been able to accomplish the second half. And like you said, the Urban Meyer era was peak. Stomped Michigan 8 years in a row. It was great, and we hoped Ryan Day would be able to replicate that, and he clearly hasn't. So it's going to be different. I will never say Michigan is going to stomp us, no matter how many stars they bring in out of high school. Even though they did have a very good, I will give Michigan credit for this much. They did have a very good recruiting class this year, but I'm never gonna say Michigan is gonna stomp us in any sport, much less football. But man, you said it best. This was the closest we had, best closest team we had to winning, and we didn't get the job done. And this year, it's going to look very different with a new quarterback. We still have Jeremiah Smith, though, thank God. He's still got a couple seasons left with us, but it's going to be very different. Very different. He's got to get the job done now. Got to get the job done now. But man,
Yeah,
I don't know what
so
it is
with
with that
Ohio
man.
State, we did have Aaron Nolan, so we did have a future in the quarterback room, but Aaron Nolan decided to hit the transfer portal to go to I think it was Southern Carolina. I'm not sure. But so the quarterback room for Ohio State, we still need to find our guy. We got to see what happens during spring training. So hopefully Ryan Day picks a good quarterback to start for us, and maybe have someone of a similar season to what we had, not this year but the year before.
Yeah, we definitely need that. Definitely need that because again, this is going to be a significantly weaker roster, significantly less star-studded. Obviously, we know Jeremiah Smith is going to do his thing. Excuse me. We expect him to do his thing, but my mic's fritzing on me right now. But it's going to be a lot different. Again, all I can say is Ryan Day's got to get the job done. We know he can get the job done in the playoffs, and that's great. You got to get the other side of that coin. You got to get the other side of that coin. And you were right about Aaron Nolan. He did transfer to I think South Carolina, which honestly I still don't even understand that situation, but I get it. We brought in another world talent in St. Clair, and we're probably going to ride with Julian Sayin. So there was really no need for Nolan to be there, and I think he knew it as well. He probably wasn't going to get much PT at OSU. Have him bringing in those other two guys. You said it best, man. We had the best roster this year. Didn't get it done. It's gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be a lot different. But I don't know. I don't know what it is with Brian Day, man. I don't know what it is. What do you what do you think about Ryan Day, man? Do you think he's been able to, despite winning this chip, been able to uphold the standard at OSU?
Yeah, so far with Ryan Day, we have not had a losing season. We still have yet to miss a playoff appearance, but I just don't. Okay, when it comes down to him and the game, I'm not sure what really happens because he shows he could be like one of the greatest college football coaches that we've ever seen, but he can't win against Michigan. So overall, he's a great coach. He's a great person. But in order for him, like you said, to get the other half of the coin, he needs to beat Michigan. He needs to do what he doesn't need to do exactly what not Ryan Day, what Urban Meyer did. But if he could win a Michigan game, then maybe my opinion on him would change. But so far, it ain't it, bro. I ain't liking it. Like you could win us a natty. The natty's important, but I promise you, the game is more important than the natty.
Though I bet those seniors know it as well. The seniors that they're heading in the NFL, they know it too. I mean, he's man. I mean, I'm sticking to what I said. My disgust towards Ryan Day has lifted a little bit since he won this title, but he's got to get it done. He's got to get it done, and he hasn't gotten it done. The game, you said it best. The game is just as big as the title, as the national championship game is. It's basically like winning two national championships in 1 year. Beating Michigan is the first national championship, and then winning the actual one is winning the actual one. And we only have one, and we've gone 4 years without winning the other one. And what you said earlier about all the Michigan fans standing up and constantly getting in the comment sections and things, I see it too, man. And I can't go one day looking at an Ohio State post and not seeing a comment section full of Michigan fans saying they own us and whatnot. And I mean, if we really do bring all time into the picture, Michigan does have the advantage all time. They do have more wins over us all time. But man, I hate to see it, and it's got to change, man. It's got to change because we can't be going down like this, man. Can't be going down like this. Ryan Day, he is he's one of the best coaches. I believe he's one of the only active coaches right now with the national championship. The other two are Dabo out of Coach Dabo out of Clemson and Kirby Smart out of Georgia. So he's got a resume. He's not a bum, but when that game rolls around, he coaches like one. Can't happen. Can't happen. He's gotta replicate the same recipe that Urban Meyer used for 8 years straight and make a better recipe, if not an exact same, because Urban Meyer knew the way, and now Ryan Day needs to know the way. But again, I mean, my disgust for Ryan Day, it's gone. It's been lifted a little bit, a little bit. And to all you Michigan fans out there, bruh, we will be back. We will be back. I know the game is going to be played at Michigan, but we will be back. Ohio State will be rolling. And if we do end up winning this game, if we end up beating Michigan this year in Ann Arbor with a packed stadium, we better if this doesn't get banned, because I don't even think they've the the committee has addressed this yet. But if we end up winning this year in Ann Arbor, we better plant that flag, bro. We better plant that flag because we got to get our get back from this year. I mean, that was horrible.
That
That
was
was that
disrespectful.
was you know what I'm talking about after the
Yeah, I know.
game?
Yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't it, bro. But we got to do that, man. We got to do that. If it hasn't been addressed yet, but I don't think the committee has addressed that yet. I think they should though, because it has caused a little bit of a problem in the college football world. But what do you think about that? About flag planting? Is that something that should be patched?
no. So I do believe that Baker Mayfield, he had did the same thing when he played Ohio State. He planted the flag, and we all seen what happened when Baker got to the Browns and we played the Fenners. And I think it was Nick Bosa. Was it Nick
Yeah, I
Bosa?
think
Yeah,
so.
it was Nick
Yeah.
Bosa. He did the Baker Mayfield celly after that. Took that shit to the Browns logo and he planted it. So I like it. Honestly ignites something inside of players because you see with Ohio State after that loss to Michigan, they just steamrolled over everybody that we played on our way to the Natty. So since Michigan did do that, I do believe that the underclassmen and the people who have to step up and fill in their positions on the Ohio State football team, I do believe that lit their flame to fuel what they have against Michigan. Because as an Ohio State fan, Michigan is the worst thing in the world. So yeah, it ignites a flame within them. So that's how I feel about the flag playing. Like it's good. It shouldn't be banned. Just know there's consequences that come behind that.
Yeah, there definitely is. I think we got to take full advantage of that if we end up winning this game in Ann Arbor. But it's the rest assured the committee probably will look into it if we have another worldwide issue, because there were a lot of other issues with that, with other schools and other rivalries during that rivalry week. So that they're probably going to take a look into it. But we got to take full advantage of that,
Yes,
because
sir.
they can't be doing that. It was bad enough Oklahoma did it, but them doing it, nah, we can't have that. We can't have that. And to anybody who's out there, anyone who's out there that's saying just win the game and maybe that wouldn't happen. I hear you, but nah, not at the O, not at the O, man, not at the O. But with that being said, you got anything? You got anything else you wanna
I do.
input, Noah, before we
Yeah.
we
So
wrap up
something
here?
else, something else about Ryan Day. He had the chance to win two national championships. When we played Georgia in the college football playoffs, we did lose to Michigan, but then I think we were Final Four. We played Georgia, and 31 to
You're talking about
32.
the 2021 run
I think so.
when we
Think so.
lost 42 to 41.
Yeah, we lost to Michigan, but then we played Georgia in the college football playoffs, and we missed that field goal kick to potentially. I think who were we going to play that year? I think Michigan got stomped on by was it TCU?
Yeah, yeah, that was the TCU year.
Yeah, and then Georgia steamrolled TCU that year. So if we did not miss that kick right when the clock struck 12 midnight, we could have won another natty, and that's another thing that could have went under not Ermeyer but Ryan Day's belt. But kicker the kicker lost us that game. So overall, Ryan Day's not bad, but there's just not decisions, but there's things that happen. Negative opinion on, such as losing to Michigan, and it's just like the Cleveland Browns and Steelers rivalry. I will never root against the Cleveland Browns, but the NFL is different than college football, so that's another story for a different day. But that's my opinion. That's all I gotta say.
That is another discussion for another day. NFL rivalries versus college football rivalries. But having said that, you covered it. You said you covered it best. There are things that we as Ohio State fans look negatively upon, and that you were right that we did. That kick did get botched, and we could have eventually moved on to play TC. But it was a great game nonetheless. Great game nonetheless. We came down to the wire, but the kicker botched it. But we got it this year, and shout out to Notre Dame because they played well. They had stars. They had stars on that team that played well, and I think the players that went from Notre Dame to the NFL, I think, and hope they have just as good as a career in the NFL as they did in college. But shout out to Notre Dame, but y'all just aren't us. Y'all ain't Ohio State. Y'all gave us a fight at the end. I will say that y'all did give us a fight at the end. Our secondary was selling, and I was losing my mind watching it in the second half. With that being said, this has been season 3, episode 1. We'll catch you guys Tuesday for the show's first ever guest speaker appearance slash episode. We're gonna be talking pretty much NFL the entire episode. Not sure what yet. Guest speaker has to let me know about what exactly they want to specifically talk about. But we will catch you guys for the show's first ever guest speaker episode. With that being said, stay tuned for that. Tuesday, it's streaming 2 p.m. You can view it on Twitch and YouTube. That being said, peace out.